Hello and welcome back to video 5 in the Nostalgic School Days video series. So today we're talking about your favorite teacher. And what I did was, so I asked my parents about their favorite teacher, and I wrote down their documentation. Let me just flip through here to the page. Isn't our book getting quite filled up? I love how fluffy it is. I ended up, it was a little bit more challenging to get my little rainbow in here, and it still kind of sticks out a little bit, but I do love it. And I think what I might do is come in here and write on, I thought about this yesterday, is maybe do a little saying what I mean by believe, just so, you know, it's kind of, you know, there's a story behind it. So there's that. Okay, so we're getting to our favorite teacher. And basically what I did was I took another one of those die cuts and I wrote out my teachers. I don't remember my kindergarten teacher, but I do remember my grade school teachers. And then on what I took a little, I decorated up this little library card pocket, and then I took library cards and I wrote out, I was going to come and put some washi tape at the top, but I can still come back and do that. But I pulled out 5 different colored library cards. I wrote their name, I wrote what grade they were, and then I wrote down one thing that I remember out of the classroom. So to kind of give you an example, Miss Brandon, my first grade teacher, I remember that I was one of the students that helped others read, so she'd help me go around and read. So I always thought that made me feel, you know, teacher's helper. You know, I love that. Miss Jenkins, she was my second grade teacher. At the end of the day, we got to choose songs and we got to sing them. Like we could sing "Oh McDonald's" or any kind of kids songs. And then also this is coming up, I believe tomorrow we talk about a program or play, but I got to play one of the main characters in our classroom play, so that was my memory of them. Miss Hawkins was, I think, one of my least favorite teachers. I was kind of a little class clown in a way. I mean, I don't want to say that, but I love to laugh and have fun and everything. And I remember she used to put me in the corner all the time, and she had these really long red fingernails, and she'd grab my arm. And I also remember learning cursive, which was, I think that was pretty challenging for me, even though I loved cursive. But you know, like when you try to do your G's and your Q's and all that kind of stuff, it was challenging. Our 4th grade teacher, we started out with a male and ended up with a female teacher. I think he kind of got fired because he kissed one of the girls on the forehead in class. I'm just going to say that. Just going to put that out there. My 5th grade teacher, which was Miss McCormick, and she, I had a best friend in that class, and we always got in trouble. We would laugh, and his name was Josh. And I remember when we went to 6th grade, he totally ignored me. And then, what I remember mostly about her class is that at Christmas, you know, I'm a big Christmas person. We learned about Christmas from around the world, and I remember we did Swedish, which is, my family is from Sweden, and we made a St. Lucia cake, and so it's just kind of fun to kind of write down a memory from each classroom. And so that's kind of what I did with here, and I just kind of decorated it up there. Now, when it comes to my favorite teacher that I remember most of all, I wrote about a story about him, and he taught American literature, and I remember I was fascinated with Edgar Allan Poe, with Emily Dickinson, with Robert Frost. So he introduced a whole new world of literature to me. So that, I have to say, he was one of my favorite teachers, and he made it interesting, and he also made it fun. So I wonder what happened to Mr. White. I'd love to let him know the impact that he made, because I even bought book. This is a copy of my book that I have in my little library that I think I picked up at Half Price Books somewhere, but it has all short stories in it. And so I have this in my library because of Mr. White and his introduction to those stories and how he made them so interesting. And by the way, I love this little washi here. It's books. I think I picked that up at Little Craft Place in Houston. So they have that whole washi wall, which is fabulous. And then I kind of created a little page with a graph paper behind it. I put some cardstock that had stars, and this is that little kit that came, the little die cuts and some stickers. And of course, you know, how many times did you write out with different color markers? But I put my mom and dad's story in here, and my dad, oh, I didn't finish telling my story. I have more to write about my dad. I guess I got sidetracked when I was writing this, but he said he didn't really have a favorite teacher, but he did remember a teacher that did not have a vehicle, and he had made small talk with her, Mrs. Bright, at the bus stop. So that was his story. And then my mom, Mrs. Wall, was her third grade teacher, and you know, things are so different. I feel like back in the 50s and things like that, you know, now our kids have multiple pairs of shoes. Most of our kids do. I mean, my daughter still, oh yeah, she does. She has sandals. She has tennis shoes, you know, boots, all those things. And so my mom, she got one pair of shoes, and they were worn out, and her teacher felt so bad I went and bought her a pair of shoes. So that's her kind of her memory that she has there. So, oh, and then on the back page here is basically I have this picture dictionary children's book, and I was flipping through it and I saw this, and I'm like, oh, that's so fun. I'm just going to make a copy of it and just stick it in my book as part of my pages. So the project for today is, the crafty project for today is making a I've been looking at my little page here, and basically the questions you can ask yourself on your favorite teacher is what grade, what was their name, what did you love about them, or maybe your least favorite teacher. Oh, and I did want to tell you that was very interesting that they did have, both my parents remember their least favorite teacher very clearly. And I said, give details about stories you remember. It's interesting how I remember Miss Hawkins' red fingernails, but I do. And then, so today's little crafty project is sketch out a map or glue illustrations of your classroom or playground of your school. So I don't know if you guys did the summer project, but I had made a little map out of our place that we used to go all the time as kids, and we called it the Dearlies because it was a Dearlies. But I thought it would be fun to make up a my cat is attacking my pom-pom, which she's older so she never plays, so I'm just kind of looking at her like, what are you doing? But what I thought it would be fun to do is to sketch out your classroom or your playground. Now, I wanted to tell you one time recently, I don't think it was too recent. I'm gonna be using a page from my sketchbook that I've used for background for my map. But I guess you could say it's been kind of recently, within the last maybe 5 years. But I used to still go to the dentist in my small town and drive the distance, but then I kind of changed it up because it was kind of getting too far to drive. So anyway, but I decided to go look at my old elementary school one day, and it's not even really there anymore. It's still there, but it's like a detention school kind of deal, and so I was curious if my playground was still there. But anyway, that's what I'm going to do, is sketch out my playground from as a kid, and I thought it would be kind of fun to create a like a map type deal, and I'm going to put it on this page. I love this paper. It's like an old chalkboard look, and it has this cloud blowing the kite. But I think what I'm going to do is just kind of tear this like a map and just add it on here and draw my map out of my playground. So, because you know, oh, and if I believe I mentioned it in the video yesterday, is I went to the same elementary school my whole life. So you know, whenever we had something new added, it was exciting, and so it's definitely something that is drilled in my head about the school. So And plus, who didn't love the playground at recess, you know, and stuff. So when we grew up, we actually had, the schools were lined up in a row. So there was like junior high, elementary, and then there was the high school. And then of course it grew, and now there's several high schools within, for the city, for the town. But my playground, I remember along here was the football field, and over here we had Foursquare. So I'm just going to kind of sketch this out with my watercolor pencil. And then, actually, my four squares are quite big. But, yeah. So, okay, so we did 4 squares. This was the entrance into the 3rd grade. It's weird, I kind of remember. I mean, I think I remember. You know how you kind of have in your head. But, so, and then you had the monkey bars, which they were kind of like this, where you could climb it and walk across. Over here was your swing sets. And then, I don't really remember right here, but right here we had these bars that was short, tall. I mean, the tallest was back here. And you could, basically we would do chicken on these, you know, it was balanced beans is what they were. And I think right here was were those 2 things that go together and you can hang upside down and those kind of things on there. And then this was the fun. We had a big slide that went down. And it was this metal slide. And it seemed so tall as a kid going up that metal slide. And I remember along here there was, we would walk sometimes, and there was, because there was a baseball field right here, and there was a, that flower that grows on the vine. I can't think about what it's called now, but, honeysuckles, they smell so good. Then, I don't remember really what's right here, but there was this house right here. And you could climb it, and boys would chase us around, and then they would act like this was our jail. So dumb. And also, I remember I was climbing the top of this, and there was a June bug at the top, and you know how they can cling to your fingers? Ooh. And I remember I was like freaked out about that. I don't know what, I don't remember what was right there. So that kind of gives you an idea. What I might do is use this as my playground area. So I'm going to just kind of come in here and use my watercolors and paint a little just to add color to my playground. And then I'm just going to label each one with a pen, and then I'm going to, and that's going to be it. I mean, it's just kind of like you're documenting like a memory that you have, and getting it down on paper. I remember the swings were like, of course, were the hot item, and you really you're lucky to get on the swings. And I remember it was sandy, so I might kind of just, let me see if I can zoom in a little bit. I might just kind of come in here with just some gray. Oh, you know what I have? That would be fun to use too is, I had a crafty friend, Miss Mandy. She's going to be doing speaking of Miss Mandy, she's going to be doing a back to school as well. She can be found on Instagram and Facebook. Pink Crafty Cottage. Mandy, I'm sorry if I'm going to put that down below. I don't have my phone with me, or I would look it up right now, but I'm going to put her link down below. And then be sure to check hers out. Hers is coming in September, so it's going to be a lot of fun. But she sent me these amazing Tim Holtz distressed inks, and they are so fun. I haven't bought me any of these in a long time, and so this was such a sweet surprise. I know I have a sandy looking one in here somewhere. Let's see. Whoops. Yeah, uh-oh, my box broke. Let's see, Sugar Spum Vintage Photo, that may work. I know there was like a gray one in here. Walnut Stain. What's this color? Let's see what this one looks like. I ought to do a swatch with these. That way I know exactly what. I'm going to use this one. Let's see here. Tea dye. Yeah, I think that would be a good idea, is for me to use a swap, make a book up so I can remember what colors is what. Let's see what this crushed olive is. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm not even doing this on the page so y'all can see the different colors. Aren't those pretty? Okay. So I think I'm going to use this tea dye. And I'm just going to come in here and do my edges. Gives it that weathered look anyway. And it goes perfectly with the tears. And that's something you can definitely do with watercolors as well. And this is a vintage photo. I might just come in here and just kind of randomly add it around here. Okay. So, I'm just curious if now I don't go that direction. My parents live about 30 minutes away, going away from and they built the big toll road, so you don't basically have to go through it anymore. I'm going to do red over here. We played the tar out of Foursquare. I don't know, did you guys play Foursquare? I'm going to back this up just a little bit so I don't get it off the screen. But we loved it. Okay. And I mean, I know most of this color is metal. But it's fun to add just kind of some different colors. Okay, it's pretty simple. You know what, I could probably add some little, because this was actually a grassy area over here. Just kind of add a little bit of color in there, so it's not so non-colorish. I know, I always think about that slide that I remember it just being so tall, and like I said, it's probably not as tall as what I remember it, but as a kid you're like, wow, that was a tall. That was a tall slide, excuse me. Okay, so I'm gonna get my pen. I don't think I have one of my fine points. I have my so this was a balance beam. A slide. Swings. Let's try. We could do. I'll do an arrow over and put 4 square. A wooden house. And just like me talking about the stories, put monkey bars. Just about us. I'm talking about the stories, you know, that what could be a list of something that you put in your book as well. So I'm going to put, Miss Giddens was the name of the school. School. Play. Oh, you know what I just remembered too? Playground. Is, we did this thing at the end of the school year where you could pick it was either like cooking or you could pick, I don't know what those are called, but they kind of were a balance thing, but you could pick a kind of like a, I did baton, you could do food, you could learn like about stuff, and you know what was right there, I remember the gym, and it was also like the band hall, but you could learn different things, and I remember I picked baton twirling. Which I really enjoyed, actually. So, just kind of covering that white space there with some gray for the sand. Okay, so that is the playground. So let's add it to our journal. And you could do a classroom. You could do just about anything that you remember that you want to document about. And I might actually have to add a little bit more wording in here, but it says elementary school, so I think that will get the point. And there we have it. Now I'm going to add, let's see here, is this opened? No. I was going to add a little bit of edging around here. With the silver, possibly get it going here. I know I talk about these in all my videos, but I absolutely love these glitter markers. I got them off of Amazon. They were super cheap. The brand is INC. And they dry so quickly, and they're, you know how a lot of times the glitter markers, they either, I don't know, these are just great. They add sparkle when you just need a little bit of sparkle. Really want that to stand out. So let me add just a little bit of red on there. I just kind of want them to see. Because I could have actually added something on here, but this is perfectly fine. I'm going to add a little bit of yellow. Kind of draws the attention to this area as well. Alright, there you have it, you guys, and that's a wrap. I hope you have fun going down memory lane and talking about your teachers and sketching you up a classroom or your playground. See you in my next video.